You may recall back in section 5.2 that we talked about the binomial probability distribution, and we said that the probability of getting exactly R successes in N trials was given by this formula right here. Now in this formula, N, that's the number of trials, R is the number of successes that you want, but this number P right here, that's the probability of a success on a single trial. So the question is, how do we know what that number is? Well, the real number, that P, is the probability of success on a single trial, which is actually a population proportion. And what we're going to do now is we're going to see how to estimate that proportion using, first of all, a point estimate, and then we'll construct a confidence interval for it. We'll take a look first at getting a point estimate for P. Now, a point estimate, we're going to use this notation here. P hat, right? There's a little hat over the P, and that's going to represent a point estimate, just an estimation for the true proportion. Now what we're going to do is from a population, or I suppose this is a population of people. From this population, we're going to take a sample. So suppose, there's our sample right there. And let's suppose that the sample has size N. And then suppose that out of this N number, there are R with a particular characteristic. Then a point estimate for P, the true proportion, is, right, P hat, that's our estimation. It's R over N. So it's the number of items that you observe with a particular characteristic divided by the total number of items that you've sampled. An example. In a survey of 1,000 large corporations, 250 said that given a choice between a job candidate who smokes and one who does not, that they would prefer the non-smoker. So what we want to do here is find a point estimate for the true proportion of all large corporations that prefer non-smokers. So I'm going to introduce some notation here. Let P, that'll be the proportion of all large corporations preferring non-smokers. That's the estimate we're looking to get. N, that's going to be our sample size. R, that's going to be the number of corporations sampled saying that they prefer non-smokers. Now P hat, we have a formula for that. P hat, so there's the true proportion. Here's our estimate. That is equal to R over N. So what are we going to get? The estimation, the point estimate, is equal to R, 250 over 1,000. All right, P hat turns out to be 0.25. So our point estimate is 0.25, which means what? That about 25% of all large corporations prefer candidates who are non-smokers.